Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How's everyone doing this morning?
Good.
You guys ready to drink some beer?
Yeah.
Well, welcome to our first exclusive Chase event. Thank you for joining us. When we were approached with this concept about beer for breakfast, me being sort of a beer guy, beer for breakfast, that's just a natural. So when we started looking at the foods to pair with it, we got a couple different beers and stuff. And the great thing about being a chef is we get to create, we get to play a lot. Like the s'more cereal that you were greeted with this morning. Liquid nitrogen, we love liquid nitrogen. It's awesome. It's fun to play with. It does miraculous things. So we threw everything into liquid nitrogen to see what it tastes like, see what it does. You can't really do a lot of liquidy or things that have high water content because it actually freezes and it'll freeze to your tongue and stuff like that. And that's not a good thing. So you need to really use drier stuff. So being breakfast, s'more cereal is something a lot of people do in the morning, s'more cereal. So we took and played around with that. So it's just a nice little refreshment to, as you come in, just get the taste buds going. Plus it's fun to watch other people have smoke coming out of their nose and their mouths. So, I'm Leonard Thompson. I'm the chef Cuisine for Park Event Operations. We host all the events associated with Food and Wine Festival. And our 20th year, I've been involved with Food and Wine Festival for 20 years. The last 7 I've been here at Epcot, so I've been really involved. And this is our biggest and best year yet, so can't wait for 25. So I'm going to go through and talk you through each course. I'll talk about the food, and then I'll turn it over to Eulan, he'll talk about the beer. So the first course, we're doing a grapefruit. So it's just a classic dish. It's a pink grapefruit. We took and sectioned it out. Top it off with some brown sugar, white sugar. Throw it in a hot oven to caramelize the sugars. And that's one of the things when we tasted the beer, the pumpkin ale. Really see what would go good with it. And when we do, a lot of people take food and they'll pair wines and beers with it. Me as a chef, I like to do the opposite. I like to take the beer or the wine and taste it and then pair the food with it. Because to me, it's easier to pair food with it than pair the alcohol with it. So we try to take a back approach for it. So when we tasted this ale, it needed a little bit of bitterness, a little bit of sweetness. So that's what we thought about the whole grapefruit concept. So I think it's going to go very good with it. What we did is after we sectioned it out, we took the pumpkin gourd, or the gourd short pumpkin ale. We took that and doused it into the grapefruit. Then we just put the sugar on there, and again, we just caramelized the sugars. So, Eulan? I'm going to go back into the kitchen and help plate up, and then I'll be out for the next course.
Great, thank you. So everyone's doing good, good. My name is Eulan Middlebrooks. I'm with the Florida Beer Company in Cape Canaveral. I'm not sure if anyone familiar with us or our location? All right. A little clap, a little applause, all right. Everyone's waking up to some beer. That's really nice. How many people have done like a beer pairing dinner? All right, got a lot. How many people have done a beer breakfast? No? This is the first. Okay, well, this is the first of this is the first beer breakfast I have hosted. I have attended a few. I've done many beer pairing dinners. This is the first beer breakfast that I have actually hosted and been able to be a part of. So thank you. I want to thank Disney and the Food and Wine Festival for allowing us to be here. And welcome to the 20th. It's a fantastic festival. Everyone running around and getting all of that already. Everyone enjoying all the beers and wine and all that stuff. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, well, so let's talk about this gourd shorts and let's talk about the pairing. So pumpkin ale. Anyone know when the first pumpkin beer was produced? It's very, what? Well, a long time ago, there was a man named George Washington. He actually produced a pumpkin beer. Pumpkin was really something that it was an afterthought in cooking and baking and everything else, and it was something they used when they kind of ran out of stuff or didn't have the money to produce anything. So pumpkin was kind of an afterthought. But there was a guy in the United States, Buffalo Bill Owens, in 1985, produced the first commercially produced pumpkin beer. So, and now pumpkin beer, everywhere you turn, when you go in the store in July, there's pumpkin beer. But it really is a perfect seasonal for this type of year, the autumn, the fall. I'm getting into the fall months and the nice cold. It's a nice warming type of beer. So what we did with this, we have a Munich malt in there. We have some different dark malts, not too light. When you're tasting beer, you kind of want to look at a few things. You want to look at the appearance. That's the first thing that we're going to look at when we're tasting beer. We want to look at appearance, and then we want to get. So you look at that. So now you can see there's when he talked. The chef talked about the caramel drizzle and everything else. You got some caramel malt in there, which actually will pair very well with this with what you're eating. So you can see a little dark amber color. It's not too dark, not too light. You should see some little tiny bubbles. That's the lifeblood of that beer. The carbonation. It's kind of keeping that body alive. So now I can see a gentleman here. He's getting his nose into it. So that's the next thing. So we're gonna smell this beer. So everyone knows, or if you don't know, 80% of what you will taste is from what you smell. So the flavors that you taste, 80% of that is coming from your nose and what you smell. So everyone, there's a few different ways we can smell this beer. You can take 3 quick sniffs, right? Or you can do what they call a drive-by. You can kind of just run your nose by it, just a drive-by. Or you can take your 2 short whiffs and then 1 big long one, get a little retronasal, breathe it out through your mouth. Now you should be able to pick up something in there. Maybe a little bit of pumpkin, maybe a little bit of the spices, the pumpkin spices. We have hints of vanilla in there. We have hints of cinnamon and nutmeg. A little bit of allspice. You're going to taste a little bit of that. You're going to probably get a little bit of the grain. You'll catch a little bit of the malt kind of coming through your nose. And like I said, the spice is not really overbearing. This is the second year that we've produced this beer. Like I said, we added just a little bit of vanilla. What we wanted to kind of do is kind of give you that sense that you're having a little bit of the flaky toasted crust that's coming from the grain. A little bit of the spice from the pumpkin, obviously the pumpkin. And then maybe with a twinge of vanilla, maybe a little scoop of that ice cream going up on that pumpkin pie. So that's what you're kind of pulling. And then obviously that's the taste. Everyone please taste your beer if you have not tasted your beer. Then we're going to talk about different things like mouthfeel. So it should have a nice medium body. It's going to have a little bit of effervescence. It's going to not linger on the tongue too much. It's going to finish relatively, I would say, medium, not too short, not too long. And it should go very well with this grapefruit that you're having. There's a little bit of bitterness in there, a little bit of the hop spice, a little bit of the spice. Should pair well with that grapefruit. And then, like I said, as the chef said, you're going to have a little bit of that caramel drizzle. You're going to have that caramel kind of coming through. And that sugar, that sweetness. There's some vanilla kind of popping through to mix with that sweetness of that grapefruit. So what we try to do with all these pairings is we kind of try to make a perfect pairing. Sometimes we miss the mark, maybe. Sometimes we hit a home run. And it's kind of according to what your tastes are. People pull different things from every beer. And that's what's so great about beer, is that there's so many different styles, there's so many different flavors, and someone can drink the same beer and pull something completely, totally different out of it. So it's really, it's why beer, we love wine here, a lot of wine drinkers out here, okay? Beer drinkers, big beer drinkers, all right. And beer pairs so well with food because they just have so many harmonious flavors. Beer also pairs very well with cheese too. If you've never tried beer and cheese, go after it. Everyone enjoying this pairing? Good pairing?
Very good.
All right. Good. Well, I'm going to stop talking, let you enjoy your meal for a little bit. And then when the chef comes back out for the next course, we'll go through that. Anyone have any questions so far? So this is Gord Short's Pumpkin Ale. It's available here. We're the Florida Beer Company. We're distributed through all of Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, soon to be Tennessee and South Carolina. So we're hoping to take over the whole East and Southeast and maybe the world after that. So enjoy, everyone.
for next course? Yeah. How did everyone enjoy the first course? Was the pairing okay? Okay, good. So that's one of the things when we pair foods like that. Everyone has different taste buds. You'll have 5 different people taste something. Everyone thinks differently about it. Happens in the kitchen too when we taste things. So it's good to see what everyone else thinks about it. So next course, being breakfast, this is a play on bacon and eggs. So this is a very good beer that you're tasting for this course. There's a lot of different flavors in there, which is great because it gives us a lot of leeway on what we can do. So play on bacon and eggs. So for the egg, we did a quail egg. What we do is we just put in a little triangle mold, and that's baked off. For the bacon, we did a pork loin, Berkshire pork loin. We took and brined it in beer, a little bit of salt, a little bit of water. So we did that overnight. Then we took it and roasted it slowly, and wrapped it in cherry wood bacon. So, and then also around it, we took a little bit of the beer, reduced it down a little bit, put a little bit of apple juice in there, some shallots, some herbs, strained it out. That goes around it. And then also on there you have apples. We took Fuji apples, which has a little tartness to it, sauteed it with a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of butter, because butter always makes it better, right? So it just adds that fattiness to it. And then just has a little pea shoot on top of it. So enjoy.
Sounds great. So the beer that you're going to be pairing with this is our Passport 20, which is a fantastic beer, something that we're very proud of at Florida Beer Company. It is it's a Belgian triple, and it is brewed exclusively for the 20th Food and Wine Festival. So you can only have it here. This is where it's at. This is where it will be. The interesting thing about this beer is there's 20 ingredients in this beer. With the number 20, we took 20 ingredients. The great thing about a Belgian triple is you can kind of play around with it so much. There's a lot of malt in triples. So you use a lot of malt. So we can also pull a lot of flavors out of it with the 20 ingredients. And what we wanted to do was also have a representation from the 11 World Showcase countries in this beer. So if you kind of look at it, you know, Belgian triples are normally pretty light. They're deceptive in color because they look lighter. This one we actually used a couple of different German malts, a Munich malt, a caramel malt in there, which you normally probably wouldn't do, but it gave it a little bit more character, gave it a little bit more volume that we wanted. But they're higher in alcohol. This is 8% ABV, so this is it's quite a big beer for 9:15 in the morning. But it is, if you look at it, and it's very effervescent. The Belgians the triples are very effervescent. Your nose on it, you're going to get some flowery aroma, maybe a little bit of banana, maybe some clove going on in there. You'll catch that. We use juniper berry in there, which is kind of interesting. It dries out the beer on the back end. You're going to catch some really a nice tartness. He was mentioning in the meal there was a little bit of, with the apples, a little bit of tartan. That's going to pull that out because the Belgian yeast, the yeast is the driver in this beer. It's the malt and the yeast that really drives this beer, and you're going to catch a little bit of tartness. But what we hope that the lighting guy had Passport 20. I'll keep on talking. And so we'll finish off this beer in the dark. But yeah, so there's going to be some effervescence to it. It should, and let there be light. It will kind of go nice. There's be a complement with this, but also with the meat. It should kind of cut through a little bit and finish off very, very clean. And I hope you enjoy it. Enjoy it.
All right, we're heading into our last course. The great great thing is, it's what, 9:30? So you got another good 12 hours to keep drinking beer. By the way, I am jealous. I am jealous. I would love to be sitting there instead of up here. So for the next course, another interesting beer, Oktoberfest. Great flavors. So we did a play on chicken and waffles. With the waffles, actually a cilantro waffle. We just took a buttermilk waffle, folded a bit of cilantro in there. The chicken, it's a free-range chicken breast. We just cut up in strips, little breading, deep fried it. The syrup that goes on the side, it's orange, roasted jalapenos, some shallots, and finish off with a little bit of butter. And then my mom always told me, make sure you eat your greens. So there's your greens for today. So you're set. No more greens. So what it is just a little bit of kale, just chiffonade, and it's just tossed with a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper, just to finish it off. So enjoy.
Great. Oh yeah, big hand, nice dress. Looks and smells fabulous. I'm jealous too. I haven't had anything, but golly, it looks great. So this is Oktoberfest. This is the last pairing of the day, or at least for this morning. What we like to do when we're pairing foods is we like to match strength with strength, light with light, things like that. Things that really we know will work very well together. Oktoberfest is obviously it's our Oktoberfest seasonal. It's our offering for this season, and it's very robust. It's robust, malty. There's a little bit of hop spice in there. There's a little bit of caramel sweetness. It should pair beautifully with this meal right here. The chicken, the waffles. You get some breadiness to it. The waffle and the beer. It should be nice, robust, hearty. Just make you feel good, warm and fuzzy, and you can take on the rest of your day because you are filled up with some hearty goodness. How many like that second pairing? Second pairing, really good? Okay, cool. Great. Well, enjoy this one. And once again, I'm Eulan from the Florida Beer Company. I really thank you for letting us be a part of this today. And I just encourage you to enjoy everything out of this festival. It is so amazing. And thank you. Enjoy.